So you've just seen Wicked and can't get Defying Gravity out of your head. And that to be continued ending? Yeah, it's driving us all crazy. If you're dying to know how next year's Wicked Part 2 will wrap up this epic story, don't go anywhere. I'm FlexiSpot, and I've got you covered. Okay, so let's make sure we're all up to speed before diving into part 2. The first film wraps up with Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo, discovering the wonderful Wizard of Oz is not so wonderful. After a magical experiment accidentally creates an army of flying monkeys, she realises that the wizard and Madame Morrible are manipulating her to gain power and to persecute animals. Furious, Elphaba refuses to align with their scheme, steals the Grimoire, and becomes a fugitive branded as the Wicked Witch. As Glinda pleads with Elphaba to apologise and align with the wizard, Elphaba chooses defiance. Cue the most iconic moment of the musical, Defying Gravity, as Elphaba enchants her broomstick, declares war against tyranny, and flies off into the night. Meanwhile, Madame Morrible twists the narrative, rallying Ozians against Elphaba, and Glinda finds herself conflicted, embracing her role as Glinda the Good. Okay, we're all on the same page, right? Good, so why don't we start discussing the details of what's around the corner. Wicked Part 2, slated to release in November 21st, 2025, will follow Act 2 of the musical, with some expansions. We can probably assume that Wicked Part 2 will stick closely to the second act of the musical, as the first film was an incredibly faithful adaptation of the stage production, even with some expanded characters. But Act 2 of the musical is shorter, so it's likely the sequel will flesh things out, especially since composer Stephen Schwartz has teased at least 2 brand new songs. So why don't we dive into what the musical already reveals about the story, while leaving room for those surprises. But before we get into the incredible story of the second part and what to expect, here's a quick word from friend of the channel, FlexiSpot. Our friends over at FlexiSpot are having an absolutely massive Black Friday sale with up to £280 off, huge discounts and the lowest prices of the year. Now here's the deal, anyone who's been with us at SLUURP for a while now knows how much we love FlexiSpot. Seriously, they've revolutionised our office setup and have helped us pump out even more content for you lovely folks. First, they hooked us up with some of their premium standing series desks, and as many of you know, I've raved about these before. The sleek design, the versatility and the durability are unmatched. Their height adjustable feature is a game changer, letting me switch between sitting and standing and making me way more productive. Then they sent over the much needed FlexiSpot BSA ergonomic office chair. I sit in this beauty pretty much every day, and let me tell you, it's easily my favourite office chair I've ever owned. Absolute game changer for my back and posture. But wait, FlexiSpot's generosity doesn't stop there. Recently they hooked us up with this super sleek BS14 ergonomic chair. And when I say FlexiSpot doesn't miss, I mean it. The BS14 is all about next level comfort and support. The lumbar support adjusts perfectly to your back, while the headrest and armrest are fully customizable to keep your neck and shoulders and arms relaxed. The breathable mesh keeps you cool, and the forward seat tilt helps improve posture and reduce back strain. And as a 70-year-old trapped in the body of a 20-something, I very much needed this. Thank you, FlexiSpot. FlexiSpot is honestly my favourite partner we've ever had on this channel. Every product they make is light years ahead of the competition, and that is exactly why now is the perfect time to make like Vin Diesel and join the FlexiSpot family.
Family, 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 family.
There's no bad time to upgrade your workspace, because that's right, FlexiSpot is going all out for Black Friday with up to £280 off site-wide. But wait, there's more! FlexiSpot is also running 100% free promotion at midnight every single day, plus a 10% site-wide discount. Have they lost their goddamn minds? So go take advantage of this incredible deal using the link in the description or the pinned comment. Believe me, you will not be disappointed. Thanks again to FlexiSpot, and now, why don't we dive back over and find out what's happening in part 2 of Wicked. Wicked Part 2 the movie is expected to pick up with Glinda fully embracing her new identity as Glinda the Good. She's trying to spread positive vibes and win over the Ozians, but behind the scenes the Wicked Witch and his press secretary Madame Morrible are ramping up their smear campaign against the so-called Wicked Witch of the West. Things get messier when Fiyero, played by Jonathan Bailey, finds themselves torn between duty and love. He's engaged to Glinda, who, sort of forced it, but his heart? Well, that belongs to Elphaba. Naturally, Fiyero takes off to find her. Meanwhile, Elphaba's sister Nessa isn't exactly handling her new role as governor of Munchkinland gracefully. Following their father's death, Nessa locks down the region, forbidding Munchkins from leaving so she can keep Boq close by. But when Boq announces he's in love with Glinda and plans to leave, Nessa goes full Wicked Witch of the East, trying a spell that backfires horribly. She accidentally destroys Boq's heart, forcing Elphaba to save him by turning him into, yep, the Tin Frickin' Man. But the drama doesn't stop there, oh no. Elphaba and Fiyero finally reunite and their duet is every bit as steamy and swoon-worthy as fans expect. But just as things heat up, Elphaba learns Nessa is in danger thanks to a cyclone summoned by Madame Morrible to lure Elphaba out of hiding. If you've seen The Wizard of Oz, you know what's coming. When Elphaba arrives to find her sister crushed under Dorothy's house, tensions explode. She and Glinda face off over Fiyero, and the fact that Glinda handed over Nessa's enchanted shoes to Dorothy, sending her down the yellow brick road. And then the trap shuts. Dorothy's arrival sets the stage for Elphaba's capture, but Fiyero flips the script, revealing himself as a double agent and helping her escape. Unfortunately, Fiyero is caught in the process and Elphaba performs a heart-wrenching spell to protect him, launching into the show-stopping No Good Deed. It's a Breaking Bad moment where Elphaba truly embraces her villainous reputation, even if her intentions remain noble. As the angry mob closes in, Dorothy's ragtag crew arrives with their own vendettas. Boq, now the Tin Man, wants revenge for what Elphaba did to him. The Cowardly Lion blames her for his cowardice, and Dorothy is just trying to survive the chaos. But amidst all of it, Elphaba and Glinda find a moment of peace. Their duet, For Good, is an emotional gut punch, highlighting their unbreakable bond as they part ways forever. Glinda promises to tell the truth about Elphaba, but Elphaba urges her not to, knowing it could ruin Glinda's hard-won status. The movie's climax? Well, Dorothy seemingly melting Elphaba with a bucket of water, but we all know that's not the end. After Glinda arrests Morrible and confronts the wizard, she discovers Elphaba's green glass bottle and realises the horrible truth. Elphaba was the wizard's biological daughter. But by then, it's too late, or is it? In true Wicked fashion, Elphaba fakes her death and escapes with Fiyero now transformed into the Scarecrow, while Glinda is left to carry on alone, never knowing the truth. Wow, so it feels like we covered a lot there. And that's right, Act 2 is actually a larger volume of story packed into a shorter span of time. So for the movie adaptation, it might need the filmmakers to expand upon some of these ideas and themes, and also to borrow some from Marquez's OG novel. While the musical is lighter, the novel is actually darker and more of a political book. Part 2 might borrow some elements to fully flesh out Act 2's shorter runtime. And I definitely think, and this is my biggest hope, Part 2 should take from the novel and give Dorothy an expanded role. Unlike the musical, Dorothy interacts with Elphaba in the novel, seeking forgiveness for Nessa Rose's death. The musical Act 2 delivers an emotional gut punch, some of the best ballads to date, and the bittersweet conclusion we all know and love. But the movie is already promising to go further, with new songs, expanded scenes, and potentially deeper character arcs. Will it deliver on the massive expectations set by Part 1? Well, only time will tell. And while we wait, what are you feeling about Wicked Part 2? What do you hope they add to the second part, and how excited are you? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for tuning in to our Wicked coverage. And if you're new and in the mood for some more Oz chitter chatter, check out our video ranking every single song in the first movie from worst to best. I've been kind of a slurp, and I'll see you in the next one. And taking the silver medal, Popular. Christine Chenoweth didn't just set the bar as Glinda, she launched it into orbit. I mean, could a pop star really fill those sparkly shoes? Spoiler alert, yes, they absolutely can. Grande's take on Popular shuts down the skeptic